Looks like we're set to go. Hello, viewers, and welcome to my discussion / informal review of Higurashi Volume 1, or I guess it's officially called Chapter 1. I just always called it Volume 1 because it's pretty long. Onikakushi. If this is your first time seeing this type of video, what it really is an unscripted, basically an unscripted review. Just because I suck at scripted reviews, and I just want to get my thoughts and feelings out there. I don't know how long it'll be, but like I had a really bad, bad discussion for Sano Yuta where it's like an hour of pretty much hot garbage. Well, my fall one was pretty good. Like I don't mind it being long. I just need to actually make it kind of interesting. But yeah. We'll basically be discussing this as this volume as a book and its enjoyability, and I know it's a mystery and theories and stuff. I will be releasing a theory video again, maybe either in a week to 3 weeks, depending on how motivated I am to finish it, because again I'm writing a theory sheet and stuff to have it documented for basically for the next volume, just so I remember everything that I think. And it'll probably be an additive thing. But yeah, so we won't be discussing theories or what happened in this volume. This is more just the enjoyment of the story in general and how I felt about it as a reader. Also, just some preferences. This is the Steam version, which I guess is the manga gamer version. I think they did change the OST, but I'm not exactly sure. I haven't looked too much into it, so there are some slight changes there. I also used the 7th expansion patch, which I'll probably link in the description since someone did comment on it earlier through my read-through, which basically changes the sprites to the PS3 version, adds voice acting, and adds lip movement when they talk. I'm not sure it changes anything else. I'm pretty sure it won't. That would seem weird, because I'm pretty sure Manga Gamer didn't censor anything. So I think there was controversy with the OST, so maybe they did change that. I'm not 100% sure on that, so just in clarification of what I read, because some people might have read something else and there might be some differences. Also, if you're new to this channel, I mainly do visual novel read-throughs, so the whole read-through of this volume is on the channel, which is basically like, it's kind of like an audiobook, but it's like the reader hasn't read it before, so he's just as surprised as you when reading it. And I give a lot of my commentary in between, which is probably why it's such a super, 25 episode long playlist, while other YouTubers have 11 episodes or something. It's because I get into these long rants, and hopefully I won't subject you to that in this video. Also, another thing, I have read Umineko around 5-6 years ago, and it's been my favorite visual novel to date. Not that I have a lot of visual novels under my belt. I have probably under 30. I'm not exactly sure the amount. I really should list it out, but I think it's around under 30. So I went into reading this with the knowledge I have from Umineko. I'm not trying to use that knowledge to help me understand, but it's just gonna naturally be in my mind, because it's almost impossible not to, right? So yeah, just to get those prefixes out of the way. Also, random note, thanks for the 10 subscribers. I just woke up this morning and I got that. It's a tiny little milestone. Probably not a lot too much people, but to me it's pretty good, We've been about 3 months-ish into the channel, and we finally hit 10 subs, so that's super cool. Just a big thank you for the people who thought the content was good enough to click the subscribe button. I'm not forcing you, because I do know there's more people watching that aren't subbed, but that's totally fine. Yeah, thank you. So let's get into this. First I kind of want to talk about the story. Oh yeah, this will be spoilery, I guess. I won't really be talking about the specifics, but there will be some spoilers. I like to split the story of this volume basically into two halves. The first half is the slice of life fun with the club half, and then the second one is the basically the more horror side where oh, that's a train. I do live next to a train yard if this is your first time being here. Sorry if it's slightly annoying, but I do have my windows closed because it's allergy season, so if I sound a little stuffy, it's because of that, which is great. But yeah, the second half is more the horror oriented, and like both sides do have mystery, but the mystery kind of comes more into light on the second half. But first we'll talk about the first half. Lots of fun, lots of club activities, basically characters bonding. We kind of get to know more about the characters, more their personalities, I guess, presented. Some people are probably lying. Obviously, some people are lying, but kind of get a general gist of the character, which is always nice in a mystery novel. You do want to set up personalities and stuff, even if they are fake. It's just good to have a lot of information to infer to, even if they're fake, right? Just it's good for theories, it's good for thinking, and these were really fun. And now I know there probably will be criticism on because some people I know probably didn't like the length of all the fun stuff. Like there might have been too much slice of life in the beginning, or kind of vice versa. Like maybe some people really like the slice of life part, but when it flips to the horror side, they don't really like it. But I think the majority probably wouldn't like the slice of life thing, because I think most people are going into this novel for sort of a horror slash mystery experience because it's such a big name. It's like infamous for its gory stuff, I think, because of the anime, which I didn't watch, obviously. Um, but yeah, personally, my take on it is I do think that there might be a little too much bonding. Like, you can probably cut out some of the club activity scenes, which are like, well, for me, it was like an hour because I was commenting on it, but it's probably like 30, 40 minutes. Because I think they have enough. There's like, what, 5, 6, 7 club activity scenes, and like a couple of them really don't add too much to the plot from what I know. Like we already know the characters after a couple club activities. We know how Sadako's like smart or acting smart, and Rita's like kind but kind of sly. Mion's always trying to win and kind of has a leadership pointer, and how Rena likes cute things. Like we get all this established, and some of them don't really add too much. And might be wrong, because when I was thinking about this point before recording, I was thinking maybe there is some foreshadowing to it, like for the whole zombie type thing. Like that was just one of them that I guess kind of seemed like they didn't need it. It didn't really add too much to it, but like that could definitely be foreshadowing for the mystery, or it could be a hint that we just can't. Well, I say we, but I can't perceive. And eventually, I'll come back after getting some more answers and be looking back and like, oh, that was such a nice hint, but you just can't use the information yet. So maybe it's not useless, but just from the perspective of somebody who doesn't know anything about the series and coming in volume 1, it might seem too long for some people, which I think is valid. Me personally, I love the scenes. I am a big horror fan. I love horror movies and stuff, and I recently been getting into mystery. Like Umineko is my only real mystery thing, but I've been reading a lot of Agatha Christie, this other famous girl that I forgot her name, but it's somewhere on my bookshelf. I'm trying to look, but I can't find it. And I read some like Dan Brown, I think, who wrote Origin. But yeah, I'm pretty new to it, but I really do have a soft spot for this slice of life stuff, especially in manga or web comics or whatever. It always hits me, which is really weird because it's usually the opposite of what I like. But like I feel like really well done slice of life stuff really works. Well, to me, slice of life stuff is either really good or really bad, and obviously it depends on how the author writes the characters and their interactions and stuff. And I think the group of friends, the 5 group of friends, is probably my favorite like group of people in visual novels. And again, I said I haven't read a lot of visual novels, but I really can't think of like these funny, cute interactions with each other in another visual novel. Well, I can think of some, but not as consistent, because every time a club activity came on, um, I got super excited because I'm like, man, this is gonna be a wild ride. It's gonna be really fun and unexpected almost. So I really enjoyed it, and for me personally, it really did set up the inevitability of the horror aspect coming, because I knew someone's probably gonna die from this group, and to me it helped me connect more. But I did see why people wouldn't like it. But again, personal preference. Sorry, I'm just taking a drink. Second part, I think was actually better than the first part. Like I said, I love the slice of life, but there's a lot of tense scenes. I think the author really did a great job in building atmosphere. And he did a really good job at seeing someone's deteriorating mind, because we kind of see Taichi slowly going insane, in my opinion, where he becomes super suspicious and he can't trust anyone. And again, you have to remember these characters are like 14, 15-year-olds, and the 2 younger girls are like, I believe they were 10, 11. I have to look back to that comment someone left me, but they're really young, and obviously they won't act exactly like people would want them, as an older adult. We can't have those same expectations, so I think Teichi's like actions were really fitting of a 14, 15-year-old. I actually think they might be slightly more mature, and he did some, but yeah, his like thought process definitely showed that he was a kid, and it was just a really, really good series of events. I think the last couple hours of it was really intense, fast paced. When we're reacting to it, like when some people died, I couldn't really properly react because things were just happening and it just kept going on and on, which is a really good tactic for mystery novels because it gives you less time to think more, and it kind of like forces you to speed up because of how fast paced it is. It kind of distracts you from, analyzing the situation, which I think is a good way to mask the mystery. And as for a horror one, there were definitely some creepy moments. I think Rena was like my favorite scene from the horror aspect one was the lawn chase scene where Rena was kind of like speed walking behind Teichi with the cleaver, and Teichi was like also kind of mildly speed walking, like maybe like getting out of breath from walking, and kept looking back and like screaming at her to stop following him, and she just kept saying like these creepy lines, and it would always end with this terrifying laugh. Like that scene, which lasted about like 30 minutes, was insane. That was definitely, I think that might have been my highlight scene if I had to choose one. It was intense, it was suspenseful, and it was just amazing. If I had to choose a favorite scene from the slice of life aspect, maybe the president scene where they played the president card game. That was pretty funny. Fan service for everyone, depending on what's your favorite character. They all got to do some funny stuff, and even if Taichi's your favorite character, he had to do all of them. So that was cute and fun. But yeah, that chase scene was insane, and I also really like how they made how like mysterious they made the ending, because there was basically like a little time skip, maybe like an hour or two. We don't actually know how much time has passed since the scene where you're in Teichi's perspective, but when they switch to Uichi-san and they end it like that, it really like leaves it open to what happened in those hours, and it's just really, really well made, in my opinion. Of course, I'm no expert, I'm not an author, but I really did enjoy the story itself. Well, the general plot. Without going too much into it, I'll probably cover more like specific plot elements in the theory video, because you have to inspect them, right? What else? we can go into characters. So the main cast, if you watched my read through, it probably won't be a surprise to you who my favorite character was. Mine was Sadako Hojo, which is one of the younger kids, the blonde one. She was just so adorable. Like I just loved her character completely. Like I think I said before, like her whole shtick is she tries to like sound smarter than she really is, and use big words that don't really suit her personality, but she gets like super flustered and stuff when people start to like question her. Like it's just such a fun character, and I'm really glad nothing horrible happened to her. And I'm really excited for Volume 3 when I eventually get there, because we'll probably know more about her. But yeah, she was just great. Second, I guess, and I'm right now I'm ranking the friends, because they're the main cast, even though we do have a couple side mainish characters. I think second place I would put Rena. Like I said, she was super scary in this volume. Um, and her cute mode thing, it's kind of great, right? When she did that like punching barrage at the beginning was awesome, and I just really enjoy her. I enjoy her speech mannerisms, like the repeating thing. It's kind of catchy. Like eventually, when I'm reading it, I can actually like tell when she's about to repeat stuff. So that was kind of fun to do, and yeah, I really like her character, and it's kind of surprising because this is her route, but we didn't actually like get to know too much of her backstory. Like we got little bits and pieces, so hopefully we will learn more about Rena. And then third, it's kind of a toss up. I think I like Rita more. She's just again she's adorable. The head pathing is it's funny, but if we're comparing cuteness, I think Sadako's cuter. But I do think she's really sly. Like she definitely knows more than she's letting on. I'm sure most of the characters do know more than they're letting on, but especially Rita, you can just feel it from her. And I like those kind of characters. I like those slyish, kind of deceitful, but in a good way, maybe? I'm not exactly sure. Then Mion. Just because Mion's my least favorite, it doesn't mean I think she's a bad character. I think she's a great character. It's just that the other characters are just also really great. And I actually started to like Mion closer to the end. It's just like when you get introduced to them, they all kind of have their set personalities, and just Mion was just, in my personal preference, my least favorite one, and I'm sure people love Mion, um, just on a personality standpoint. And even when she was doing her creepy stuff, it just felt kind of felt less threatening than Rena. But I really did enjoy her interaction with Keiichi closest to the end, where Keiichi just kind of confronts her and says he knows all this stuff and he suspects her in the first murder. And just seeing her like emotionally vulnerable was really nice. Because I was under the suspicion that she was like she's one of my suspects for like the leader of the whole thing, but that's kind of been blown out the water for now. Anyways, when showing her emotionally vulnerable, then her little rage thing was a really good scene. And I think I'll like her more. Like, we're gonna get some more backstory of her, obviously, in the next chapter, so that should be exciting. But yeah, those are basically the four main ones. Keiichi, I think again, I already stated that I think he's a pretty good protagonist. Again, he's just a kid. So some of if you think back as a kid, I can definitely see me making some of the same actions. Obviously, I don't have the same personality as him. Like, I'd probably just tell my parents right away if some of this stuff was happening. But, for a brave kid, I think it's kind of a nice, he's like an above average protagonist for me. But not amazing, but I do enjoy watching him. We have to talk about voice actors, because I know most people who don't patch the game probably won't have voice actors, and that's fine. There's obviously reasons for that. If you are the type of person who reads a lot of novels, which I wouldn't say I read a lot, but I read some novels. Definitely, like, you like to create your own image of the character and have their own voice. So I can see why people would want to do that. But personally, I like having a voice for it. I think it makes the character stand out more, and also just as a thing, as someone who reads it for a YouTube video, it makes it a lot easier for me instead of having to read every speech, every like spoken verse given by someone, because I suck at making voices. So it's just better for me personally. Again, it's just a personal preference stuff, which I guess is a lot. Which yeah, the fandom is pretty split on like preferences in Higurashi and Umineko, right? For some of the certain like graphical issues and stuff. I'm sure the voice acting is the same, but I really liked Teichi's voice acting, especially when he screams, because because in most of the screams, like in the chase scene and in some other stuff, it always sounds like he's on the verge of crying. It's just really well done. He's like, leave me alone. I don't know, I just loved it. I thought that was pretty immersive, so good on him. As for the other ones, I mean, they're good. I don't think any of them like stood out, because like some of the I don't know if I like comparing Umineko to this a lot, but I think that's just a natural thing. But there are some voice actresses or voice actors I loved in Umineko, mainly girls. I don't think I felt like I loved any of the ones in here, but I didn't dislike any of them. I thought they were all good. I thought they were all distinctive, which is also pretty good. So yeah, I just wanted to say that I loved Teichi's yelling voice. It just worked so well, and the laughs. Every everybody had their own sort of laugh, especially for the girls. Like you had um Sadako's oh ho, ho, ho. And I don't know why Rita laughed. I can't. Did she ever laugh? I feel like if she did laugh, it'd be like a short, like not drawn out laugh. Well, me, I remember. I don't know. We haven't seen Mion laugh too much. Like we've seen her laugh in her creepy form, but I remember closer to the slice of life stuff, she had like the weirdest laugh ever. I remember just hearing that. It's just so weird. And I wish I could bring that up, but I'm too lazy to open the novel and stuff. But and who did I miss? Rena's laugh again. I think Rena's normal laugh is just cool, cute, but her creepy laugh during the chase scene and stuff is insanely fun. It's so good. It's so creepy. Like I'm a type of person who likes to put myself into the protagonist's shoes, and I can just imagine that happening to me, and I'd be terrified. I could not keep my composure. I'd probably just try to sprint off instead of like keep like looking back at her. Like that'd be way too scary for me. But yeah, I don't have too much of an opinion on voice actors or voice actresses unless I find someone I really love, which is kind of rare. And I don't think it matters too much compared to like the other stuff I mentioned before. Oh yeah, other side characters. Who did we have? We had like Kichi's parents who don't have a sprite. I kind of like them, but you didn't really get too much from them. More of the mom than the dad. She seems reasonable. um, Tomataki, he was pretty vital character. Um, kind of like the one character that you expected they will probably use to kill, because they kill for the first murder, just so they can't get rid of the main cast right away. Though I feel like in the next one they probably will will kill a main cast right away. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I have no idea how sequels will work with this, if it's like Umineko and stuff. But it's not like the preference of, because they had some good setup to how that worked in Umineko, and there's like no setup for this one. So I mean, I like Tomataki. Again, I thought he was super suspicious for like ever, but I thought his suspiciousness wasn't endangering, I guess, our protagonist, if that makes any sense. But I'll probably talk more about him during the theory video. Uishi's a cool character, because when I first met him, I completely 100% trusted him after like talking to him in the car, and I trusted him for the longest while. And then I forgot which episode, but I just made a 180 on him, and I still think he's pretty untrustworthy, except for the last scene where they kind of showed that Maybe he's not. Maybe I'm just like overreading this, but I just have some like major stum reads on him. But I do think he's pretty cool, and if I do remember right, his voice actor actually does do a pretty nice job on like an old copish guy. That's cool. But yeah, that's enough for characters, I think. I think that covers most of the characters. There's like Chi, the school teacher, but I don't have an opinion on her. Or, who was her name? I forgot. I forgot. They'll probably mention her in the next one or something, but the blonde girl with Tomotaki, because she was sprited. Oh, and she had Eva's voice actress. I remember that. And Eva is one of my favorite voice actors. I hate switching the two. Voice actresses in Umineko. So it's good to see her. Hopefully we'll get more with her eventually. I don't think she's going to be a major piece in the story, but who knows, she might. I think at most she's just going to be like a partner for whatever Tomotaki's trying to do in Hinamizawa. But yeah, hopefully we'll see more of her. Again, I really like that voice actress. Next, graphics. Let's talk about graphics. I kind of said it's kind of a lot more personal preference for like the designs and characters and stuff, just because there's multiple sets of designs you can use. There's the original one made by the artist himself or author himself. You have basically there's a PS2 and PS3 one, but I don't know why you'd use the PS2 one, and I don't even think you can patch that. You probably can find it somewhere, but if you're using the 7th expansion patch, which I do think is slightly popular, right? You get the PS3 ones, or you have the new sprites made by Manga Gamer, which you can see on the screen. That's the one that they redid. And obviously this is, again, personal. I know a lot of people like the original sprites because I think that argument is they show a lot more emotion in their facial expressions. That can be like, and that's fair. Again, who am I to critique someone's art sense? And I usually don't really care about the art too much, like in manga and stuff. I'm like, it's unique, but it doesn't really bother me unless I really hate it. Personally, I don't think I could read Higurashi with the art. I know it just looked bad to me. And I know. Maybe someone would comment and say that's dumb or whatever. It's just my personal preference. It's just not appealing to me. It's about it. I don't know. I feel uncomfortable talking about it. It's just not for me, and it doesn't really. It just doesn't help me immerse with the characters, and I'd probably get distracted by how it looked. Um, as for the manga gamer sprites, I'm actually pleasantly surprised on how they look, because when I first saw the Umineko sprites, the new ones they did, I thought they looked horrible. There might have been like one or two characters that I thought looked alright, but it looked really bad. In comparison, I think the manga gamer sprites look pretty nice. Like, I could definitely read it with those on. But I did read Umineko with the Alchemist PS2, 3 sprites, whatever it was released in. So the sprites, I basically just chose this patch these sprites because I thought they looked similar and it nostalgic value and stuff. And I do personally think they look the best out of the three. But again, it's more personal. As for character designs themselves, is there a design I really like? I kind of really did Rena's casual outfit with the weird sailor hat / beret thing. I think that looks. I mean, it probably would look funny IRL, but I think that looks pretty cool. I can't really remember Sadako's outfit. I should be saying I liked hers the best, but her school outfit's like the green dress. It looks alright. I can't remember her casual outfit at all. Rita in the shrine outfit actually looked pretty nice. Her normal design. Actually, I like her normal design too with the overalls. They looked. Were they overalls? They're like a weird skirt overall thing. But I think that looked pretty good. I don't know. I'm not an artist. Again, art is probably the least important thing to me, but I thought I should just bring it up just because. What else is there? Music. Oh yeah, I was pretty excited to talk about music because I like talking about the OSTs and things. Sadly, it kind of caused a little bit of trouble. Like, I couldn't find an exact list of what was used in this volume, which is kind of annoying because if I just listened to like a collection of what was used in the first four volumes, for the question arc, it might spoil some stuff. And again, I was trying to look through YouTube and freaking thumbnails because I hate I hate searching anything for Higurashi just because it might spoil me, and I really want to not be spoiled. Luckily, I didn't really get spoiled. I saw like a couple thumbnails from the anime. Now I kind of know what Teichi looks like. But yeah, I kind of had an idea anyways. But yeah, so basically I didn't really get to listen to the OST again. I really wish the volume could have had like a music box of what was used. I think it's pretty easy to do, especially since this is like a redo. It just shouldn't be that hard for a manga gamer to put something like that in, but they didn't, which sucks. Maybe after I finish the first four volumes, I might be more free to look through it. I'm just really careful on spoilers. The only interesting thing I actually found that was kind of useful is when I was looking on the wiki to see if I can find a soundtrack list for it. I found out that apparently the OST used for Higurashi, the question arc anyways, was not composed, but just a bunch of free songs found on the internet. I just like copyright free music, which is really weird because I was digging some of them, but like looking back again, comparing to Umineko soundtrack, which I considered to be the best by far out of all the soundtracks I think I've ever heard. um, this obviously doesn't. I don't think it matches up to that, but again, this could be my skewed perspective of I listened to the Umineko soundtrack so much, and I don't actually remember what was in chapter 1. But yeah, it's kind of weird that they're using free music, which obviously means the quality won't be top notch. But there are songs I liked. If you actually look in the playthrough, then I won't know the names because I can't actually look at the soundtrack list. There's this one song that always came up that I feel like I commented on like 2 or 3 times during the read through. It's like this weird somber piece, which is like sad music trying to sound happy. I really wish I could find it, but I feel like if I look it up now, it's just going to be a mess. So that's one of them. If you're like a Higurashi OST expert, then I'm sure you know. Actually, you probably won't know what I'm talking about because there might be multiple songs like that. But that's my thing. Like, what other songs do I remember? The battle music. Whenever they did like the club activities, they had like a specific creepy sound too. But yeah, it's enjoyable. Like I said, even if I don't think it's as good as the Umineko one, which I do believe, I don't. I'm pretty sure the author didn't just take free songs from the internet. I'm sure he like a long time ago. I think someone told me that he used like a lot of his budget on the soundtrack. So there's just different budget wise to that. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it worked pretty well. I don't know if Manga Gamer's update screwed with it. It didn't ruin my personal experience, though I saw some complaints. Um, but yeah, I think it was. I thought the OC was pretty good, better than the other 2 visual novels I've read on the channel. I mean, Say No Yuto's was alright. Fault was like kind of unrememberable, but this was definitely the best so far. Um, yeah, I don't know. I wish I could talk more about it because I'm actually kind of interested in that topic a lot, but I just don't want to search for it. Again, I can't find a specific list of what was used in this volume without like listening to other ones used in the other 3 question arc stuff. So I just don't want to look too much into it. And again, trying to avoid spoilers because searching up Higurashi stuff on YouTube, probably the music, they'll probably have some weird thumbnails that'll probably imply stuff and it'll get stuck in my mind. So I don't really want to do that. what should I talk about next? Okay, like I said, I didn't really want to compare it to Higurashi, but I think we can have a small segment on comparing it to the first episode of Higurashi. This is actually pretty interesting because they actually have a lot of similar themes, which I like, especially near the ending. I just felt like more and more Umineko vibes to it. And obviously, this came first. I know it's technically Umineko that has the Higurashi vibes, but yeah, a lot of similar themes. Umineko's like, did a witch do it or did a person do it? And then this is, did a curse do it or a god or whatever, a demon do it, or did a person do it? Then you have like, I want to trust my family, but I want to see or I want to trust my family / friends, but I don't want to admit it was supernatural. Then you have like those events that seem supernatural, but they're trying to like do it as a person or whatever. I don't know, just a lot of similar themes. And if you ask the ultimate question of which episode did I like enjoy Umineko more, episode 1 or volume 1 or Higurashi, it's hard to say because I read it like 6 years ago or close to 6 years ago. I think, yeah, so I can't really comment on that. Maybe when I read it as a whole, Higurashi as a whole, I can make a comment. But I think the fact that Umineko sets up like this at the end, sets up like this is a game and we're gonna play like a logic game and stuff, it kind of takes away from the horror of Umineko. Like the first episode definitely had the horror vibe and I was like digging it. But like everything after, like sure there's some gory scenes, some maybe horror scenes, but nothing like that really scared me. The fact that they haven't took this pretext in Higurashi, like it's not a game. I don't know what's gonna happen in the next volumes, but I do think it has more potential to be scarier than Umineko. Because again, first volume of Umineko, it's pretty scary, interesting, good mystery. You have no idea what's going on, but like the preceding ones, you're not really thinking about, oh, this is scary. You're more thinking about it. Okay, how did a human do this, and how is this bullshit or whatever. Well, this one, you don't really have an opponent of a witch you're trying to logic battle with. You're more trying to just figure this out without an opponent. It's actually harder to find out what the mystery is because you have no like counter claims and stuff. You're more like free to do your own thing. So in an aspect like that, I think that future episodes of Higurashi can actually maintain this horror feeling, which Umineko just can't maintain because of the route that they took it with. If that makes any sense. Which is a good thing. Again, I want to experience the horror. I think it did it pretty well. And I think it might actually be harder to solve the mystery if you don't have an opponent who's like kind of questioning you and stuff, which it sounds kind of weird, but it actually makes it harder or it makes it easier if an opponent's like constantly facing you because you can question them and the way they react to it. You can kind of make assumptions out of that. While in this one, you can like question the story, but you can't really it's not like you'll get a response back, right? So yeah, again, I can't really compare how much I enjoyed them, nor can I say like is Higurashi better because I've only read 1 volume. Well, even if I keep volume 1 of Umineko in mind, probably like the information from the other 7 volumes like leaked into my opinion. So like maybe after I read all 8, and there's only 6 out anyways, so I can't read all 8. But whenever that happens, maybe I can make a more comparison video on it. But for now, I think I've covered everything I wanted to talk about. I did story, characters, voice acting, soundtrack, comparison to Umineko. I think that's good. And it's about a 40-minute video. Not bad. So, yeah, my thoughts generally, like, yes, I do think this is a really great read. I don't regret it at all spending money. It's actually relatively cheap. I know the sale just ended, but you could have picked it up for like $6. I think they're all like, wait, I don't know. Do I have Steam open? This might be a really, because most visual novels I look at, oh, I don't have Steam open, yikes, are like like Fault. Not hating on you, Fault, but you're like $18 an episode, and you're like kind of shorter than Higurashi, or Higurashi is like I think $10, $11, and you know you can just wait for like the Steam summer sale or whatever. You can probably get it for like $5, which is a really good deal, especially for the amount of enjoyment you get out of it. So I think it's a pretty well valued product at the very least. I want to look at how much. I know this first one anyway is cheaper than the other ones, I believe. I don't know how much important this is, but I'm already on Steam, so let's see. Higurashi. Excuse me. I'm burpy right now. Yeah, so, oh wow, it's only, is it on sale still, or is that its normal price? That's really cheap. Oh wow, they're like $9 Canadian, so it's probably like $6 or $5 American. That's so cheap with that. Yeah, great value. Great value product, great read. You probably have read it if you're watching this, but I definitely would recommend it to anyone who would be interested in it. And yeah, thank you for watching. If you have any comments on your own about how you felt about this volume, feel free to leave them. I usually respond to my comments like within 24 hours. I might forget, but yeah, feel free to leave a comment if you'd like. And again, if you just came here for a review, the theory video will be up sometime this month, which should be exciting. Or if you want to watch me play through the visual novel, it's also on this channel, and I also kind of give my reactionary thoughts and like kind of on the fly theories. So if you want to check that out, it's there. But again, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. This was a very enjoyable video to make, and hopefully I'll see you again sometime in the future. But yeah, thanks for watching and have a good day. Bye!